Hello, I'm Paul Holtz, and welcome to Class on Demand. In this chapter, I will be explaining what's new in Pinnacle Studio 15. We will be covering the powerful new archiving feature, as well as discuss the new export formats and performance enhancements. Archive Restore was one of the most requested features among existing Studio users. Archive Restore is perfect when you're trying to store projects or move them from one PC to another without the risk of breaking the workflow. You know, what is an archive? Archiving is different than saving a project. A project file is a file that remembers file locations and attributes of different elements in your project. Since the project file remembers where and how the original elements were used, all of the elements must be in the exact location as when the project was originally saved. If not, you'll have a missing media warning that the media must be relinked before you can continue. An archive is different. Archiving actually goes a step further and saves a copy of all of the original media, like video and audio files, as well as project attributes used in the original project. You can save it on any type of storage device, such as like a DVD-ROM, a flash drive, another external hard drive, or even an online storage site for sharing with friends around the world. Why would you archive? Well, archive is a great way to protect important projects. Let's just say your hard drive goes bad, or maybe you're running out of space and you need to remove some of these large files from your main hard drive. This is a great way of freeing up some space. Another thing that's great is the fact that you can share with a friend or colleague working on the same project that you might be working on anywhere in the world that uses Pinnacle Studio 15. That's a very powerful thing to be able to do that. But it's also really great for projects you may want to update after a period of time. Parents and grandparents may want to have a living, evolving project that changes or grows as the kids grow up or progress in their academic or sporting careers. Very commonly done. Another reason to archive is for paid projects. Many studio users are actually professionals that produce corporate or local cable spots. You may want to just change a phone number or add or delete a product without redoing the entire project a year from now. This is a great selling point to your customer, as they will not have the expense of a complete redo. It is also customary for producers like you and me to charge a reasonable fee to customers for archiving. And they'll be able to see the value in that because they don't have the expense of that complete redo. So as simple as it is to use the new archiving feature, it is very exciting for all types of users. Let's try how to use this simple yet powerful tool. Okay, so I've opened up the default project that comes with Pinnacle Studio called Our Nature Adventure. You can use any project that you might have on your timeline. What we're going to do is we're going to go under File, and we're going to archive the project. This is the first step. It's going to give you a little dialog box that says how much space that you're going to need. In this particular case, we're going to need 67 megabytes of space, pretty small actually, and it's only going to take about 22 seconds to archive it. So the reason that it says, please choose the destination accordingly, is it wants to make sure that whatever drive or storage device that you're putting this on, you want to have enough space on it. It doesn't calculate it for you. You must know that you have at least that much space left. Otherwise, you're going to run out of space. So let's hit OK. And what we're going to do is I'm going to just put this on my desktop, because what I want you to see is how this thing actually works. So we're going to call it ournatureadventure.sta. That's going to be the default, because that is a studio archive file. Let's hit save, and you're going to see that it really does this very quickly. And depending on the complexity and the length of your project, that could take quite a bit longer. So we're going to hit OK. Let's minimize Pinnacle Studio so you can go take a look at this. I stored this Our Nature Adventure archive on my desktop. And now you can see what's inside this folder actually. You see how it made a copy? If we double click on this, you'll see that it made a copy of all of the different WAV and MPEG files, video and audio clips that was used in our original project. Now, the reason that it didn't save a bunch of text files and all that is because within the project file archive here, it remembers how all of the different text files, Hollywood effects files, any effects files, things like that were saved. Those are part of the actual project file, so it doesn't have to make a copy. And what's great about that is the fact that it doesn't take up a lot of wasted space, okay? So here's your STA file, and this is how simple it actually looks. Now to restore this, it's just as simple. Alt-Tab, back to Studio, and open that back up. The original project is still there. I'm going to prove to you that this works by going File and New Project. So we're just going to have a blank timeline here. All right, here we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to restore the original project, okay? Going to Restore. We're going to our desktop, and we're going to look at Our Nature Adventure Archive. Here's the Restore Project dialog box. It's going to tell us that it takes the same amount of space that originally took to archive it, 67 megabytes if you remember. What's important about this is you can't just store it anywhere. It has to go back to a drive that's fast enough to handle all of your video footage. The archive was different. It's just a storage device at that point, an archiving device. In this particular case now, when we restore it, it has to go back to a drive or a source that's fast enough to be able to play back all of these video files without dropping frames. I'm going to just put it back on my desktop because the drive in my computer is fast enough to handle that. So we're just going to say, on my desktop, I'm going to hit Save, and here we go. You'll see that it gets a Restore Project. It's now opening the original project file up because it knew that that was part of this. And there you go. There's our original project without any problems. You can go back and make any edits that you would want. So that's how easy it is to use the Archive Restore feature. A couple more things that are new for Studio 15 would be the export formats. Let's go ahead and do a Make Movie here. You'll see that under the file types, we have some new formats that we can use. AVC HD Lite, YouTube HD 1080p, as well as QuickTime movies in HD, and the MKV format, which is a real popular codec at this time for the online community, which is really just DivX Plus, okay? So that's what this one is here. You've got MOV. You can go to MOV HD. So I would encourage you to look at some of these different formats, but all of these are now included. If you use an MOV HD and you hit Create File, let's just go ahead and hit Save. It's a great codec for using for like Blu-ray and things like that. That is going to be easy to do now in Studio. We've got a lot of performance enhancements. AVC HD uses the Intel Media SDK. It's got faster seek times on the timeline, almost double that of Studio 14. You've got visual improvements in 2 streams at full resolution over the smoothness that was in Studio 14. Studio 15 is going to be much smoother up in the player window. Quad-core machines are going to be a lot faster. You're going to be able to use full resolution streams. You don't need to really worry about any of this because this is kind of all under the hood. And the big thing is that it includes a lot more content. Hollywood Effects versions 1, 2, and 3 are all included. Premium packs and creative packs are included, as well as a lot of bug fixes. So it may seem like Studio 15's updates are pretty simple, but actually there are quite a bit of new features. These are very powerful, will speed up your workflow, as well as this new archive feature, which is really great stuff. Studio 15 now includes even more premium content, making this version more powerful than ever. Also, to get the most out of your Pinnacle Studio software, I would encourage you to purchase a copy of Class on Demand's complete training for Pinnacle Studio on the Avid website. We'll start with the basics. I will teach you how to create a fantastic looking project in the first few minutes, and then we will go deeper into using the extraordinary capabilities of Pinnacle Studio. I will also give you a healthy dose of tips and tricks that will allow you to add that elusive production polish that you see in Hollywood movies and television shows. Remember, Pinnacle Studio is all about fun and creativity, so have a great time. On behalf of Class on Demand and Avid, thanks for watching.